Hello everyone, I am Borthakur. I am the Faculty of Sociology in Borthakur Science Academy. Borthakur Science Academy is one of the leading coaching institutes in the entire Northeast region. Borthakur Science Academy provides coaching for civil services like the UPSC, the APSC and the NPSC. So the admissions for sociology optional subject is going on. Sociology as a subject is very important from the point of view of civil service examination. Sociology is a discipline which will make you aware of the problems of the society, the policies of the government, which will help you to crack the interviews in any civil service examination. Now, let us see the subject matter of sociology, the syllabus regarding the civil service examination, and some key points. So now, let us see what is sociology. Sociology is defined as the science of society, which simply means that sociology aims to study the society scientifically, and it is for this reason that sociology is known as an empirical science. Sociology is such a discipline where there is no space for values, for our own personal values to come into existence when we try to study the society. Sociology studies the society purely based on facts. Hence, we can say that sociology studies the society objectively. Sociology also studies the society as a whole. Hence, sociology is very different from any other social sciences like history, political science, economics. The reason being, in subjects like history, political science or in economics, we study only certain aspects of the society. For example, political science studies the governance, the policies of the government. Economics deals with financial institutions. But in sociology, we study the whole society. That means sociology is concerned with all the aspects of the society. Hence, if you ask me, what is sociology? What does sociology focus on? What are the things that we study under sociology? Sociology systematically studies the different social institutions. Here, when we talk of social institutions, we mean the family as a social institution, the government as a social institution, the educational institutions are also social institutions. We study their nature, their function, and the interaction between these institutions. Sociology is also a subject which studies the network of social relationships and interrelationships. Here, when we talk of social relationships, it would mean the different interactions between these different institutions. For instance, family and the school. So here there is a very important connection, there is a close connection between family and school. We can say educational institutions influence the society to a greater extent, and similarly families also have a greater impact on the kind of educational institutions that prevails in any society. Hence, here we can see the interrelationship between school and family, the interrelationship between education institutions and the government. So, sociology focuses on studying these different social institutions and the relationships between them. Sociology also studies social action and social order. So, here when we talk of social action, we might wonder what exactly is social action? Well, social action means the actions that a group of people in the society they commit to. For instance, from time to time in history, we have seen social movements, we have seen protests and agitations in different parts of our country as well as around the globe. So why do people protest? Why are there movements around the world? In the past, in the present, and perhaps even in the future, we might witness such movements. This is as an example of social action. That means why people involved in these sort of actions. Also, sociology studies social order and social groups. Social order, as the term is itself explanatory, means how social order is maintained in the society. Social order here means an order, a discipline in the society. We all are in a proper social order. The reason is that there is no anarchy and confusion in our present society. The educational institutions are functioning properly, the offices are functioning properly. So this is a proof that there's maintenance of social order in the society. Hence, in sociology, we try to understand what helps us to maintain this social order in the society and what are the factors that may impact the maintenance of this social order. Also, in sociology, we'll study the different social groups. So, if you ask what are the different social groups, anything from the government, anything from the pressure groups, anything when we talk of the political institution, these are all the social groups. So, now this is a brief description about what is sociology, what is the subject matter of sociology. In summary and in conclusion, we can say, if you try to analyze the subject matter of sociology, all we can say is sociology studies the different social institutions, sociology studies the relationship between these institutions, sociology also studies the different problems and social issues prevalent in our society, starting from communalism to regionalism. Sociology also studies the governance, the impact of the policies of the government on the state and its people. Sociology also studies the different social groups. So basically, sociology, as you have seen, it is the network of how these social institutions operate, the network and the reactions, the interactions between them, how they are interrelated to each other, how they are interdependent on each other, and how they function. Hence, sociology, a very another popular definition of sociology is the network of social relationships. So now let us see why there is a need to study sociology. In general, sociology is becoming a very popular discipline. Sociology is known as the youngest social sciences in the social science family, and the prominence, the importance of sociology have only been gaining around the world. So what is the need to study sociology in general? Firstly, looking at all other social sciences, we can say that no social science studies the society in its entirety. That means sociology is the only subject which studies all the aspects of the society. We try to understand which part of the society impacts the other. For example, you will notice that when we talk of governance and policies, that impacts our development, and vice versa. The developmental decisions of the government will also impact the people. If I give you a very simple example, suppose any developmental policies of the government might invite some industrialists to invest in a particular region. So if an industrialist decides to come and invest in any region, that will impact the people staying in that region. There are many incidences in the past where there were displacement. When industries were set up, the people were forced to move. So in sociology, we study this cause and impact relationship within the society. So let us see what is the need to study sociology. Sociology aids a person to understand the social world. Now, how would a person understand the social world with the help of sociology? Because sociology focuses on understanding these different social groups, like the pressure groups or the political parties or interest groups, and the social behavior. Now, when we talk of social behavior, we may mean social behavior of different groups. Here, when we talk of social behavior of different groups, we are not only referring to pressure groups and political parties, but also peer groups, or let us say the adolescents, or let us say the employers in any organization, or let us say the rulers. So we are trying to understand the social behavior of the different social groups. Also, we try to understand the social hierarchies. So here when we talk of social hierarchies, we can look at class as a social hierarchy. We all know that there are mainly three classes, the high class, the middle class, and the lower class. So we try to understand the hierarchies, how these classes have emerged and evolved over time. We also might be able to study caste, because even in caste system there are social hierarchies. Also, we study social institutions. Now, as I have already mentioned, social institution mainly refers to the family, the educational institution, the political institution, even religion is a social institution, government is also a social institution. So we try to study how these institutions, how they function and how they are interdependent on each other, and we try to understand the interreactions between these different social institutions. Also, we try to study the social structure in a society. Now here, social structure basically means social structure forms the different, uh, however the society is made up of. That is the meaning of social structure. Now, when we say structure of a building, we mean physical structure. When we talk of physical structure, it would mean the rod, the cement which make up for a building. Similarly, in sociology, when we talk of social structure, we're trying to understand what makes the society. So here, social structure would refer to the existence of different individuals, families, groups, etc. Now, why do we choose sociology as an option in the civil service examination? Or what is the importance of sociology in civil service examination? Firstly, sociology is more about the study of society, hence it creates awareness about our society and that of others. So since in sociology we are studying the society, we are studying not only society in general, we are studying our own society, the Indian society. Hence, it makes us more and more aware about our society, about the structure of our society, about the problems of our society. Secondly, society helps in generating awareness about the problems of the society, various social issues and their impacts on governance, which helps in UPSC and APSC interviews. So obviously, if you are aware of your society, when you are understanding your society, we would also be aware of the social problems, the issues of our society. And in relation to that, we would even understand the governance better. We would understand the policies of the government, how has it impacted the society, and how has it influenced the people. So these are the topics, these are the areas which very often comes in civil service interviews. Very often it is seen that most of the questions that are asked in UPSC and APSC exams or any other civil service exams is regarding your society, the problems and social issues in your society, the governance, the governmental policies in your society. So these are the areas that sociology covers. Sociology also helps to understand the concept of culture and its changing patterns. We all know when we say the meaning of the term culture. Now, in very general terms, when we talk of culture, we generally refer to our lifestyle. But culture has different dimensions. When we talk of culture, we're talking of our lifestyle, we're talking of our habits, we're talking about our food habits, we're talking about our mindset, we are talking about our dressing sense, etc. So this concept of culture, which includes not only food and dress or the rituals that we follow, but also the way we think, our attitude, our beliefs, our values, that has also been changing from time to time. So sociology helps us to understand why the concept of culture is changing from the past and the present. And because culture actually as a term, it's not stagnant. Culture is changing. Culture is never stagnant. Because of nowadays we have the globalization, we can see globalizations all around the world. So because of globalization also, culture, the culture of different countries have been changing from time to time. Also, sociology helps us in understanding the changes in social behavior and its causes. Now, social behavior would mean the behavior of people, maybe the behavior of pressure groups, maybe the behavior of political parties. So, why is it changing from time to time? The policies or uh, the different uh, the different objectives of the political parties have been changing with the changing society. No objectives of political parties have been same over the passage of years. So we try to understand what are these changes, what are these behavioral changes of the different social institutions. So now let us go through the syllabus, the pattern of syllabus of sociology in UPSC and APSC exams. So sociology consists of two papers. Paper 1 is sociology as the discipline, which will give you a very good idea about the general concepts of sociology, what sociology is all about, and the basic concepts of sociology. And paper 2 is sociology of India, which will help you to understand the problems in India or the different phenomena that exist in India. Now let us go through paper 1, sociology, the discipline. So sociology is a discipline. Under this we will be looking at what sociology is, what is the meaning of sociology as a subject, and what sociology focuses. Then we will study sociology as a science. Now, so long, till here we are very clear that sociology is actually a science. Sociology is known as a pure, sociology is known as an empirical science, as a positive science. Now, when we say empirical and positive science, it only means that we study the society scientifically. That means there is no space for values or your own personal judgments or your any kind of personal generalizations. You're supposed to study the society the way it is, and this is the method that is used to study sociology. Thirdly, we will see the research methods and analysis in sociology. What are the different methods of studying sociology? Now, there are many methods in research. Some of the methods are quantitative, qualitative. So these are the methods. Qualitative would mean that you are trying to study the different, say, phenomena of the society. Quantitative more or less deals with the objective dimensions of the society. Now, the next topic that we'll be studying is sociological thinkers. Now, under sociological thinkers, we have some important sociologists such as Karl Marx. Karl Marx is famous and known as Marxist. So the Marxist ideology that we'll be studying in sociology has emerged from Karl Marx. Hence, we will study some of the theories, some important theories given by Karl Marx. Then we will study Immanuel Durkheim, who is known as a functionalist, and some of the theories given by Immanuel Durkheim. Then we will study Max Weber, he is another important sociologist. Talcott Parsons, who is known as a structural functionalist. Robert K. Merton, George Herbert Mead. Next, we will study stratification and mobility. Now, here when we talk of stratification, the term itself, the stratification, is derived from the word strata, and strata simply means division. Hence, in sociology, we will study how the society is divided. Now, maybe you don't see any physical divisions in the society, but even when you think about society is not a concrete phenomena, it's an abstract phenomena. Similarly, social stratification exists in the society, though we cannot physically see. Now, if you ask me what are the different forms of social stratification, we can see class stratification, that is class division in the society, or caste stratification, that is caste division in the society. So we will study these different stratification in the society. And mobility. Mobility simply means when one person moves from his social class to another. For example, when a poor person gets proper education and when he moves to a higher level. Suppose a person who is a rickshawala, his son becomes an IAS officer. So therefore here we see class mobility. So we'll study those aspects. Then we'll study work and economic life. So under work and economic life, we will study social organizations of work in different types of societies. That means how the society was in slave society, where there was the concept of master and slave. Then in feudal society, where they were employed, there was the have and the have-nots. And then we will study the industrial society. The industrial society is also the modern society. After that, we will study politics and society. So under politics and society, we will study power. What is power? There are some theories of power. What is bureaucracy? What are the types of bureaucracy? Pressure groups, political parties, and social movements. Followed by that, we will study religion and society. So religion also has a very important impact on the society. So when we study religion and society, we will study the different theories of religion, the types of religious practices that exist within India and also overall in general around the world. After that, we will study system of kinship. Kinship has been a very important part of sociology. Kinship comes when we try to study the social relationships in the society. So under kinship, we will study family and types. There are different types of family, like nuclear family, joint family. There are different types of lineage, like patrilineal, matrilineal. So we'll study these types. Next, we will study social change in modern society. So as we know, no society is static, no society is constant. Like society is always changing. For instance, India or Assam, what it was some 20-30 years back isn't the same today. And perhaps another 20-30 years down the line, we would again see more and more changes. Therefore, this is called social change. So, hence we will focus on social change, the concept of social change, the theories of social change, and the agents of social change. Agents simply means which are the factors that bring about social change in the society. After this, we will study paper 2, which is Indian society structure and change. So we will study the how society and the structure of the Indian society have been changing. So here the first unit is introducing Indian society. So under introducing Indian society, we will study some perspectives of Indian society, such as ideological perspective, structural functionalism perspectives, and Marxist perspective. So ideological perspective simply means understanding Indian society from the point of view of an Indian perspective. Here, Indian perspective simply means that we are trying to study the Indian society by means of values and norms of like our Indian norms and values, not from a foreigner's perspective. That is the meaning of ideological perspective. Structural functionalism perspective, which implies, now functionalism is a school of thought which says that the division, or the division in the society, that is somehow they are interrelated and interconnected to each other. They are interrelated, interconnected, and interdependent. So this is what we will see. And then we'll see Marxist perspective. So again here Marxist perspective would mean, Marxist perspective basically looks at the conflicts in the society. So if there are divisions in the society, we will see that how there is conflict exists between different social groups within the society. Now second, we will study the impact of colonial rule in Indian society. Now this is very important because here we will try to study the social movements during colonial rule, that is during the British rule. What were the different social movements? We will study the social reforms that took place in India during the British rule. We will study the social background and modernization of Indian tradition. That means we will try to understand the social background of India and the modernization, how Indian society have modernized from time to time. After this, we will understand social structure. That means social structure of India. So here when we talk of social structure, we will focus on rural and agrarian structure. That means we are talking about the rural society. And then we will study the caste system. That means, the caste system is a very prominent system which have existed in India. So what are the perspectives of the caste system from the point of view of different sociologists? Like for example, there's G.S. Ghurye has given his perspective on the caste system. Then you have sociologists like M.N. Srinivas. Also he have given his perspective on the caste system. So similarly, we'll see certain different sociologists, what they have, what is their perspective on the caste system, or what do they say about the caste system. Then we will also study the features of the caste system and untouchability. So untouchability is a very important phenomena, or we can say a very important phenomenon in the Indian society. So untouchability, though it does not exist now, but once upon a time it existed. Okay, so untouchability is a highly oppressive practice against a social group. So we'll try to study that. Followed by that, we will study tribal communities in India. So when we study tribal communities in India, we'll try to understand the definition of tribal. What is the meaning of tribal communities? What are the different problems that these tribal communities face? What are their issues? And we will try to understand the geographical spread. So here when I say geographical spread, we will try to understand in which parts of India are the tribals concentrated and what are the problems that they are facing. Next, we will understand the social classes in India. Now, who are the social classes in India? We will try to understand the agrarian class. Here we are referring to mainly the people who are concentrated in the rural society, or we can say the rural economy. We will try to understand the industrial class, which basically means, people, the people who own these industries or people who work in companies and factories. And then we understand the middle class. Now, middle class is also known as the service class. Because we've seen that majority of the middle class, they give their service, they provide their service. Neither they are big entrepreneurs and neither they are poor workers. They are the service providers. So we'll see that. Because middle class is one of the very important emerging community in India. Like middle class, that middle class, that middle class section of people have been increasing post-independence. Hence we'll study that. Then we'll study the systems of kinship in India. Now in India also, in our paper 1, we studied the meaning of lineage or the types of family. So here we will try to understand lineage in context of India. In Indian context, what is the lineage, what are the types of family and marriage. Then we will study religion and society. So here we will study the religious communities in India, what are the different religious communities and the problems of religious minorities. Then we will focus on social change in India. So under social change in India, we will try to focus on the visions of social change in India. What are the social changes that have come about in India? So the different development and planning which have brought about social change. Law and constitution have brought about some social changes, and also education have brought about some social change. So in this under this topic, we will see what are the factors that have brought about social change in India. Then we will study rural and agrarian transformation. That means now rural society or the agrarian society. Agrarian society means the ones who are involved in agricultural activities. So rural and agrarian society have also been subjected to transformation from time to time. So we will try to understand what are those factors that have brought about changes in the rural and agrarian transformation. So those programs are, suppose there are programs of rural development that is initiated by the government or by the industrialists or by different NGOs also. Then green revolution have also had an impact in the agrarian or the rural transformation. Then also we'll try to study the problems of rural labor migration. There are some certain class of people in the rural areas who are neither the proprietors and neither they don't have that much of ability to work in land. So there is a problem, there is a huge problem of rural labor, and because of that is migration. That means there are many people from rural areas, they have migrated to urban areas to provide their services. Then we will see industrialization and urbanization in India. So here we will understand how industries have evolved, how the industries have come to India, and because of this coming of industries, urban centers are only growing. We will understand the working class and the informal sector. Next, we will study politics and society. So under politics and society, as I have already mentioned in my paper 1, that sociology studies religion, politics. So here hence we will look at the politics and society in India. Here we will understand the different political parties that exist in India, pressure groups, the problem of regionalism, the problem of communalism and secularization. So regionalism and communalism. These are the regionalism, communalism are the two where we can see the evolving social phenomena. So which have been evolving in India. So we'll try to study that. Then we'll try to study social movements in modern India. That means even post-independence, what are the different social movements. So there have been social movements such as peasant movement. That means these peasants and farmers, they have organized movements for different demands. The women's movement, the backward classes movement. Now an example of backward classes and Dalit movement is the Dalit Panther movement. We'll study the different environmental movements. After this, we will study population dynamics. So we'll also try to study the population in India. So under population dynamics, we will try to understand the composition of the population and distribution. Composition of the population means we will understand the sex ratio. We will understand the general spread of population in the entire India. We'll understand the population growth, why population is growing. We'll understand the different population policy and family planning that have been initiated by the government. The emerging issues like there is a sex disparity. All of us we know that the sex ratio, the male and female sex ratio isn't at par. So we'll study that. We'll study infant mortality rate, whether they have been increasing or decreasing of late. We'll study the reproductive health. Now reproductive health is also an important aspect for the study of sociology, because people are often very ignorant about reproductive health. After this, we will study the challenges of social transformation. So if there is social change, so what are the challenges or what are the problems of social change or social transformation? So when we talk of, under this topic, we'll be doing the development. There are different problems. Even when we talk of development also, there are certain problems. Along with development comes the problem of displacement and environmental problems. Obviously, development brings problems such as displacement. When any industry or any factory is about to be set up in any area, there is displacement. It has always happened in the past that rural people, they are often displaced. Maybe it could be because of construction of industries, it could be because of construction of dams. So there we have witnessed displacement and also environmental problems. We'll also focus on poverty, that the poverty is the causes of why poverty is increasing. Violence against women, of course, we all know it's been increasing. Caste conflicts have also been increasing, and communalism. So that is all in a nutshell about the syllabus that would be covered in the civil service examination and the concept of sociology. So if you are interested to take sociology as an optional subject, kindly contact the number given in the screen. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Borthakur IAS Academy. প্ৰস্তুতি আৰু অধ্যয়নৰ নিৰ্ভৰযোগ্য ঠিকনা।
Borthakur IAS Academy.